Hello, we will be speaking about food waste in Woodland Eatery. Natalie Garrett and myself, Izzy, have done research and sent out surveys to tackle this issue at once. Woodland Eatery is one of 24 dining locations on Indiana University's campus. Woodland is located right next to two major freshman dorms, Reed Hall and Spruce, on the southeast side of campus. The reason we decided to research food waste at Indiana University is because we have noticed the problem from both actual data and personal experience. We specifically chose to research Woodland Eatery because it is considered one of the bigger dining halls on campus. The unique thing about Woodland Eatery is their method of organizing waste. The eatery has a dish return station where students can drop off their trays with all their food, and in the back of the house, staff members will sort the food into compostable and non-compostable items. Indiana University has created a zero-waste community plan in which there will be no waste emitted from any cafeteria on campus. So far, Woodland is doing a great job of staying on plan, but they haven't quite met the goal yet. That's where our team comes in. We have agreed with Woodland Eatery to research and create solutions of how they can solve the food waste problem.
Our group conducted a multitude of surveys, interviews, and used many online resources. Our group surveyed and interviewed both students and faculty who eat and work at Woodland Eatery. Students that live near Woodland in both Spruce and Reed Hall were classified as students who consistently eat at Woodland. We found that this method was important because they're the people seeing the food waste on a first-hand basis. It was also important to us as a group to learn more about the students' values and attitudes toward food waste. In these next few videos, we interviewed freshman students Kara and Chris to get their perspective on food waste in Woodland.
How often do you eat at Woodland Eatery?
Probably twice or 3 times a day.
What food station do you typically eat at?
Either the sandwich shop or the pizza place.
Do you notice a lot of prepackaged food items going to waste?
Yes.
How do you feel about the trash disposal tray rotation?
I always feel like it's really full with a lot of different packaged items, and I also see a lot of food that's not really being fully eaten or used.
How would you feel if Woodland Eatery partnered with a food bank to donate their unused food items?
I would not be mad about it.
How many days do you eat here a week?
On average, about 2.
Okay. And do you notice a lot of plastic/food waste?
Yes, there's actually an absurd amount of plastic and garbage filling up in the trash can.
In this next video, we talked with Woodland Eatery's manager, Adam Lee Tibbett, to get his perspective on how Woodland is handling food waste, and to also hear his thoughts on how he sees students viewing food waste in Woodland.
So we're here with Adam, who is the manager of Woodland Dining Hall. We're going to ask him a couple questions about what he's noticed about food waste. So the first one we're going to ask is how prevalent of an issue it's been throughout this specific dining hall, and kind of the necessary steps that you see you need to take to kind of make it a zero waste dining hall.
So the amount of food waste, I would say, is not abnormal for this kind of operation. You know, when you're making a lot of things from scratch, you tend to have more mistakes than you would if you weren't making it from scratch. So that can lead to some food waste there, but I think our overall amount of waste isn't an issue. How we handle the waste is what we've been working towards here and going towards the zero waste goal. For example, this plastic I'm holding right here is compostable. So that goes a long way in preventing single-use plastic and things like that of getting into the environment. Struggles we've had is when transitioning to compostable materials, we didn't have like a 100% changeover. So some things switched, some things didn't. It became confusing for the staff as to what were compostable versus what wasn't compostable. So that caused some contamination within the streams, which would cause sometimes compost to be rejected, and that was something we had been working on. One obvious solution we've been working on is making all the containers compostable, which we're pretty close to. We have signs hanging up in the dish room and around concepts of which things are and aren't compostable. And then our custodians actually police the composting bags to verify that the stuff in it is compostable. We had to do a lot of educating on staff, constant educating on staff on what's compostable, what's recyclable, things of that nature. It's come a long way. Woodland is unique in that we sort our own trash and compost and recyclables. So we're in control of what gets into the stream and what doesn't. Other locations on campus have an issue with the students themselves being the ones who put it in the bin, maybe not necessarily paying attention like you would if you were being paid to put it in the bin. So.
Absolutely. Kind of a follow up with that. Do you feel like students kind of either are playing up to like helping you guys with that becoming a zero waste, or do you think sometimes they become a little less aware of the issue?
I think that right now there's an awareness issue with it. I think over time that's going to change. I know my son, who's in 3rd grade right now, his school started doing something similar. So I think as time goes on, it's just going to be what people do. I think we're in like a transitional age right now to where not everyone is on the same page with it, which causes some issues. But over the next 5-10 years, I think everyone's going to be just doing it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate your time.
After speaking with Adam, it's easy to see that the amount of food wasted for a dining hall as big as Woodland is not the main problem. The problem is what happens with the food once it's disposed. Adam talked about how the dining hall has started to use compostable plastics and plates. However, the dining hall struggled composting these materials because only some of the plastics and plates switched over to being compostable. Adam seems optimistic about the future of students' attitudes toward a zero-waste dining hall. Our next method of gaining information was using a student survey that was distributed to students who live in both Reed and Spruce Hall. The questions consisted of how many times a student eats at Woodland, what station they eat at Woodland, if they believe that Woodland's trash sorting system is effective, if they've ever noticed any prepackaged food being thrown away, and if they would want Woodland to team up with a local food bank to give any unused food away. The final question also asked the students for any suggestions that they believed were necessary to reduce food waste at Woodland Eatery. After gaining the results of the survey, we found that nearly every student that answered eats at Woodland Eatery every day. We also found out that 68.75% of the students find Woodland's trash sorting system ineffective. Also, 75% of the students that answered have noticed prepackaged food being thrown away before. And 100% of the students that answered would enjoy a partnership between Woodland Eatery and a local food bank. Donating unused food to a local food bank was also the most popular suggestion given by students who answered the survey.
With careful consideration, we have decided that the best solution for Woodland Eatery would be to partner with Hoosier Hills Food Bank. Hoosier Hills Food Bank is a local food bank in the Bloomington area that works closely with grocery stores, food distributors, or food service restaurants to pick up damaged or excess food items and give them back to the community for no price. Hoosier Hills Food Bank currently has 9 trucks in operation to drive and pick up their partners' unused food items, making the transportation from Woodland Eatery to one of Hoosier Hills Food Bank's partners a breeze. In an effort to determine if our proposed solution is feasible, we have outlined 3 basic criteria that have helped pick the best solution for this location. We heavily focused on the cost of the solution, the amount of time it would take to implement the solution, and the effectiveness of the solution. An important criteria in determining if our solution is feasible is the cost of the operation. The only cost associated with partnering with Hoosier Hills Food Bank is the shared maintenance fees. Partners with Hoosier Hills Food Bank should expect to contribute 18 cents per pound in order to pay for the transportation of the food items. However, items like bread and produce do not get weighed and do not contribute to the transportation cost. This value implies that Woodland Eatery would only be paying a little over $1 to have 6 pounds of foods transported. The second most important criteria is the time that it takes to implement this solution. We want to ensure that Hoosier Hills Food Bank and Woodland Eatery's partnership can begin quickly so that the food donations can begin. All that it takes to become a partner with the food bank is to read the orientation packet, fill out an application, and affirm that Woodland Eatery is a tax-exempt organization. As you can see, this is the orientation packet that is required to have been read by a prospective partner. It details what it takes to be a partner, how you can be a partner, and provides so much valuable insight to help determine if this partnership is feasible or not. This orientation packet is extremely detailed, and it's vital that you read the entire packet before determining if the partnership is benefiting both organizations. For Woodland Eatery, we have found that this orientation packet affirms our belief that our partnership with Hoosier Hills Food Bank would be beneficial to not only our community, but as well as the Bloomington community and surrounding. The last criteria that we use to determine if our solution is feasible would be the effectiveness. We asked ourselves, are we effectively diminishing the food waste problem at Woodland Eatery and increasing the amount of meals that are served to those in need? Our answer is yes. This partnership not only benefits Woodland Eatery, but it also benefits those who have been struck by poverty in the Bloomington area and surrounding. As you can see, the distribution of food pounds has increased drastically over the last few years, and we believe that Woodland Eatery can help contribute to this increasing value. Next is a video recorded by Hoosier Hills Food Bank that you can find on their website that helps increase the awareness of this organization to those who might want to help contribute or to those that need help getting food on the table.
See, that's the first thing that a lot of people don't realize. We actually serve a 6-county service area: Brown, Lawrence, Orange, Owen, Martin, and Monroe. And we work with about 100 agencies in those 6 counties: food pantries, soup kitchens, youth programs, senior programs, agencies that are providing food to people of low incomes and people who are in need. What we do is act sort of as a clearinghouse or a conduit for food. Most of the food we distribute is donated. We have the infrastructure in place to go out to retailers and wholesalers and farms and all sorts of places and collect that food and then distribute it safely to these agencies that are in turn serving individuals.
With our 3 given criteria of a cost-conscious, quick, and effective solution, we believe that partnering with Hoosier Hills Food Bank will benefit Woodland Eatery in a positive way. There's a food waste problem happening at Woodland Eatery. The staff and the students are aware of this problem. This solution ensures that Woodland decreases their food waste and Hoosier Hills Food Bank increases their food donations. Based on the research, surveys, and interviews that were conducted, we have found the best possible solution to aid this problem would be to partner with Hoosier Hills Food Bank.